Hi all. In this video, we will try to continue our discussion on India's birth chart analysis. So, India became a republic uh, on 26 January 1950. Actually, that was the time at which the constitution came into effect, right? So, that's why, the 10:15 a.m. the Republic Day. It's called as the 26th Jan 1950 is called as the Republic Day, which India became a republic actually, right? So that 10:15 a.m. and the place of birth is New Delhi because that was the capital. Even now also it is the capital, right, for India. Now let's try to understand the second house in this particular horoscope. The second house indicates the wealth. Even in the personal astrology or natal astrology, you would have seen it. The second house represents the finance, right? But in the personal astrology, it represents the finance and ancestral property of a particular person. But here, in this particular the mundane astrology birth charts, we call this one as the house of finance. It's related to a country, right? So when India formed as a republic, you could directly see, right? The second house was actually occupied with moon, and at what degree? Moon present at 12 degree, right? And it was in Ashwini, fourth pada, right? So, and it's in friend's house. So moon is very comfortable here, right, in friend's house. And Ashwini Nakshatra, right, the energy of Ashwini Nakshatra is very impulsive. The deities are Ashwini Kumaras, the Ashwini Devatas, right? Those people are the healers actually, and also they are very fast, right? The energy is very impulsive and fast in nature, very quick in nature, right? Also, you can it's a kind of technique. It involves technique also, right? Because when a doctor does an operation, you can understand how technique with so much of technique he does an operation, right? Whenever a doctor is doing it, so that kind of technique you can observe there. And it's Ashwini fourth pada, and it's the fourth pada is let us say dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? The fourth pada is related to is a moksha related energy, so very positive energy. Second house, finance, consists of moon. But the moon is actually, the moon's energy itself is having some kind of ups and downs, because we'll see what moon really represents in mundane astrology. But here the moon's energy itself consists of ups and downs, because moon uh, from earth, if you observe moon, it's diminishes and also it grows, right? So the full moon day or the no moon day, all those things, right, occurs. So there is a always ups and downs. The moon's energy, I'm talking about the moon's energy, but actually what moon represents in mundane astrology we'll see. Before that, the second house energy is related to this Ashwini Nakshatra energy. It's a very positive energy, a very impulsive and positive also. So the second house completely filled with, it is activating, moon is activating the very positive energy. And what second house represents in mundane astrology? It represents wealth, revenue generating assets, whatever, all the revenue generating sources in a country, right? That is second house. So if second house is very much positive, then you can expect a lot of revenue generating resources in that country, lot of revenue generation, right? Lot of wealth, right? Basically it represents nation's wealth. Also revenues, gains, whatever policies that are related to finance, whatever policies that are related to finance, that is also second house. The government makes some policies, right? So the regulatory bodies or whatever the ministry is related to finance, everything, right? The investments, the banking stuff, everything is the second house represents that one, right? Whatever you're seeing related to money, the money making policies and the dimensions in which money flows in a country, the Ministry of Finance, and also the people related to finance, even the financial institutions, regulatory bodies, the Ministry of Commerce, all those things. So, whatever we discuss, right, whatever I say, it would be more repetitive if I say, because as long as I'm just saying wealth, then that's it. All these things come into picture here. Now, second house is house of finance. Now, how it is here? The second house, the very good house. So it must have a very positive energy. Otherwise, the finances will go down and the country would face a lot of problems. But here, what kind of energy is present in this second house? Second house represents house of finance. So if there is any positive energy there in the second house, then you can expect a lot of finance. And we forgot to understand the aspects in the previous video that was we were trying to discuss the first house. That time we did not check the aspects, right? Means Mars actually has a 478 aspects, means from wherever it sits, it also checks the 4th house, 7th house, and 8th house. Saturn has 3, 7, 10, and Jupiter has 5, 7, 9, right? So which and other planets have 7th aspect, like Mercury, Sun, Venus, all these planets have only the 7th aspect. Now check Jupiter 1, it's 1, 2, 3. It's only aspecting the first house here, right? So for first house, it's very good. Jupiter as the Lord, and also Jupiter is continuously aspecting the first house. It's very good for India to exist as a country. But at the same time, Mars is also aspecting with its 7th aspect. Mars is watching this first house. So Mars aspect is not so good, right? After Saturn, Mars is also bad. So Mars aspect is again filling up with is filled up with some uh, negative energy. But the whole great thing is Jupiter is aspecting. The third aspect of Jupiter is on India's first house, which is very good, right? So even though there are so many problems, when Jupiter is aspecting, then it's going to be very nice altogether. So now, first house, the existence of the country as a nation is very good. It's always good, right? There are no problems at all. But only some kind of negative energies are still present, as we discussed the Uttara Bhadrapada, the negative energy of that one, and also Rahu present in Revati is of course is a bit positive and also a bit negative. And here also Mars aspect, it's not so good, right? At least it's not as bad as a Saturn's aspect. So at least it is also we can neglect it because the lord of this first house is Jupiter, and he is aspecting the first house with his third aspect. So far so good. Now the second house is house of wealth. We discussed what a second house represents. Now what activates this second house? The moon's energy, that is also the Ashwini fourth Pada's energy. The moon is actually invoking the Ashwini fourth Pada's energy. Ashwini's energy is also very positive, we discussed, and also very effective, very good, very speedy in nature, right? Very good, very good. Now, moon is present. Now, what moon actually represents in mundane astrology? Moon represents the public opinion, right? So, it's very, moon represents ladies, the pregnant women, the children, right? All these things are represented by moon. Moon is the sentiment of the people. The, the public opinion is also moon. And also the minimum goods that a person requires, the basic requirements are also moon. The basic transportation, basic food, uh, and also the food, the shelter, right? That's also can be represented by moon. Moon also signifies water related, the sea bodies, right? All those things, even the night watchman, all those things, whatever related to moon. So even the crops and agricultural lands also can be represented by moon. So what I can understand from here, I want to connect the dots. So in astrology, what we do is we connect the dots and get the results. Now I am thinking the moon is present there, and it is how India is going to get the source for money. And moon represents what? The people, the common people, and their opinion, right? And also the women, the service professions, mainly the nursing or air hostess, the night workers, watchmen, teaching, banking, whatever service professions, all the service professions can be represented by moon. Even you might be knowing India is a very good IT service provider, right? That's why India is getting a lot of income but by that IT services. Even though it's very good in manufacturing the means producing the applications or not, that is a different matter, that's a debatable matter. But if you observe the service oriented stuff, the IT services, whatever, the air hostess, the teaching is also a kind of service, right? It's very good for India. So if India tries more into this kind of services oriented things, it can get a lot of wealth. Even moon represents the distribution and supplies, means the public transportation, dealers, merchants, markets, all these things are dealership, all these things are related to distribution only, right? So if India tries to distribute its goods, like India is producing a lot of rice, of course even China and other countries are also some largest producers of these rice and all those stuff, but India is also very good, right? It's, I think, in the top two. You can see China or India, whatever. Now, so it's better if it participates in this kind of distribution, and it is actually in the distribution stuff also. Means whatever food products we have, the food, the natural food, we have natural grains or other products, right? If India is into that distribution and supplies, then it can get a lot of income. Water related income also. Is there any kind of water related income? You might be observing a lot of water bottles, people selling water bottles in railway stations, so many places. Even in flights, you could see some. They give small water bottles if you really ask for whatever, right? If India is in this kind of uh, distribution and supplies, then also India can get lot of income. And what else moon represents? Crops, mainly crops and agricultural stuff is also represented by moon. Crops in the sense, crops and agriculture in the sense, the farmers, the milk, cattle, the dairies, the milk dairies, right? Also the land and real estate stuff. With that also India can get a lot of income. Now India can concentrate on supplying water to other countries, pure water, also milk. If some of the countries have lot of milk and everything, that is okay, but if any country really needs milk every day and uh, they cannot be able to produce, the cattle present in that country cannot be able to produce much milk, then yes, India can try in that area. Agriculture, of course, you already know, with agriculture India gets lot of income. uh, India is basically, agriculture is the culture in India. Almost so many people know agriculture in India. Even in Vedas you can see uh, some almost some part of one Veda is completely about agriculture, right? So agriculture is the it was the oldest profession in India, and it is, and it will be forever, because Indians like agriculture. Agriculture is the heart of India, right? Spirituality and agriculture, and agriculture always comes first compared to spirituality. Also, agriculture is the first thing. If you want to say India in one word, that is agriculture, right? Fine. Now anyways, India, a lot of Indians like to do agriculture. Then better, India also concentrates on supplying these agricultural products to other countries, so that it can get a lot of finance. Hotels and caves are also uh, represented by moon. Moon represents all this stuff. So when other country people are coming here to India, with hotels and caves we can get a lot of income. Even better, India tries to give more importance to this hotel related jobs, and try to send the people to other countries. Or even better, we will grow into a position where India can give guidance to the other people, to other countries, in establishing hotels. Of course, other countries are very much uh, they are very much better compared to India in this hotel related, especially the foreign countries, the European countries, right? The USA and all those, they are very rich, right? So even we can try in that area. Even in India also, hotels are very good, right? And nowadays they're uh, maintaining it very nicely. India can try in that area. Marriages, through marriages, moon represents marriages also. So through marriages, uh, how we can get income? Of course, some people are still getting, right, the priests and all those people getting some amount of money. But how India can generate the foreign income through marriage system? If marriage system is very strong in India, then Indians can India's prime minister or whatever, whoever, the foreign minister, whoever, can guide uh, other countries and get some finance. Just think in different dimension. I'm not thinking out of the box, but a very, as a raw man, as a very fundamental uh, with uh, with so much fundamental ideas I am just trying to tell. But this is how through marriages also India can gain a lot of income. That is there because moon is present, right? And artists can also be represented by uh, moon, the music, because moon is very beautiful thing. If you just observe moon, you feel very nice. I feel like singing a song sometimes, right? The music, artists, all those things can be represented by moon. So by producing international musicians and international artists, there is any probability of getting income? Think in a different dimension, and that is the area where we can generate more income. That is my suggestion here. So, right. So this is India, and this is Moon's effect in second house. Women can also be represented by Moon. Okay. So the basic thing is service professions. We are already concentrating on it. We are getting a lot of income. The distribution and supplies we can try, and the agricultural products, agriculture, cattle, milk, all those stuff, hotels and caves, right? So this is about the finance stuff. And who is watching this second house? Second house is watched by Mars, because Mars has eighth aspect on moon here. That is not a good thing. And what about Jupiter? Jupiter has a third aspect on first house. Who else is watching? Where is Saturn? Saturn is here, and Saturn is not aspecting moon here because Saturn has 3, 7, 10 aspects, right? Saturn actually watching the third house, not the, and also it's watching the 12th house and 8th house here in this chart. So definitely moon has no other aspect other than Mars. So through Mars I can gain any kind of, what kind of Mars is watching it? Oh, Mars is in Hasta. It's in forward motion. It's normal, neutral with landlord. Oh, this Mars is very fine. So okay, it's not a bad Mars. He's watching the second house. Mars represents wars and weaponry. Through wars and weaponry, can we gain any amount of money? And as a religious guru, India may not be interested in getting money through wars, but through weaponry, at least if India tries to manufacture a lot of weapons in legal ways and supplying it to other countries, then also it can try to get income. Currently it's not happening. Even India is trying to import a lot of weapons from other countries, foreign countries. um, Better India also concentrates in this area. So this is my analysis. So finance also good. What is the strength of this second house? Strength of the second house is good, not so negative, right? Because the Ashwini energy, or of course moon itself is nothing but ups and downs, but at the same time it is giving us it's opening the doors for service professions, water, milk, crops, agriculture, hotels, right? uh, the artistic qualities with that you can try. Also the sentiment of the people, the opinion, instant and quick response of the people can also be represented by moon. So that kind of people's opinion is good here, right? That's why we do not rest much with the public policies most of the times. Maybe we're okay with the government's policies a lot of the times, especially the money policies, the finance policies, right? We are just like moon. Means the people's sentiment is moon, of course. So finance related policies, if government is taking some policies, people are ready to listen. I don't see any kind of, but there's a Mars also, Mars aspect also. So Mars represents wars, strikes, the unrest also. So I cannot completely say whatever money making policies government makes, people are comfortable with it. No, there's a Mars aspect. So definitely there would be some kind of friction where the money making policies of the finance policies of government could see some kind of friction because of that Mars aspect. These are more generalized predictions, right? Seems to be very much generalized and applicable to any kind of country. Even if I say the same chart to other country, if I say this is the chart of USA, people it's not applicable, right? With USA it's not at all applicable. This is India's chart only. It is representing India. Mm. The first house lord is Jupiter. That itself is telling its the religious nature, all the stuff. It is still the religious country, not only the ancient India, still it is a religious country. We discussed, right? I'm just thinking in a different approach. What if it is the USA chart? Do you believe this is USA chart? You cannot. You're clearly representing the current India's energy, right? So yeah, this is purely uh, this is India's chart and it's representing India. I can see the current energies that are present here in India are exactly reflecting this particular chart. Rahu is we discussed, right, in the first house. Rahu is a kind of parallel governments and parallel running religions. That is also the Rahu's energy is representing that. You could clearly see so many religions in India nowadays, and every religion has its own voice here. We're not discouraging any other religions people. Everyone has voice here. Every religion has a voice. Clearly representing India. I'm very much convinced with this, with the logical arguments we're able to deduct from this chart. Very much convinced. Now next video I'll try to understand the third house. Third house is, of course, it's very much important. It's the people's mind and sentiment. But in the third house, and I want to tell you here, the second house lord, who is the lord of second house? Aries, that's Mars, right? And Mars is aspecting the second house. So I'm giving now more marks to Mars also. We have to give. So if there are any money making policies, the finance policies that are against people, definitely there's a Mars coming into the picture. Even they are making the money making policies. They're always doing this kind of finance policies in the area of Mars only. It's a kind of impulsive area, the battlefield kind of. So if they're making any finance policies, they have to they have to take care the finance policies. They're showing some kind of friction because of Mars aspect, and also Mars ruling that area Aries. And we can also suggest making money through weaponry. If directly Mars is sitting there in Aries, then uh, it would have happened by this time. At least because of Mars aspect, why don't we try? Why don't the government tries to get money by selling weaponry to other countries? Till now it did not happen. Till now it did not happen. Governments are also not very much interested because India is a peace loving country. They don't want to get money through weaponry selling, because if it becomes a culture of a country, it may lead to kind of destruction of the country, violence, right? It may lead to some kind of violence also. But still they could at least try. It's not like they are going to plan and manufacturing weapons publicly. No one suggests that. But at least whatever the governing bodies, the governmental bodies that are really taking part in manufacturing weapons and the war aircrafts, they can themselves try this, making or manufacturing this weaponry stuff and selling to other countries. So this is the idea basically. That's about the second house. Please, the service providing stuff we are severely trying, right? We always do that through the software services. We are getting a lot of money, and agriculture also, you can see water and milk also. I'm not sure if they're really trying or not. They can try. And with artistic abilities also we can try, because moon is a representation of all this stuff: the agriculture, service providing nature, artistic stuff, and the crops, milk, water, the representation. Moon represents that. Fine, this is my analysis. uh, what else? No other aspect on second house. Fine, we'll see in our next video the third house analysis. Third house is the public, the if you want to check the public sentiment, the people's mind and sentiment, then definitely the third house is the point of contact for us. Even moon represents some kind of public opinion, but it's in finance, right? Only related to finance. But whatever may be the more generalistic view of public sentiment, the people's mind and sentiment, how they react, that is third house, a clear third house indication. We'll see that in our next video. There are no planets present there, but there would be some aspects on it. Also the Lord, where the third Lord is present, that's also very important. Venus is the third Lord, right? It's present in 11th house. We'll see how it's going to affect. Even the Mars, the second house Lord, Mars is present in the 7th house. So when we see 7th house, that time we will discuss what it is actually doing. The 7th Mars is the dispositor of the second house. It's a Poshaka, people say. So how India can gain some income through the 7th Mars? We need to analyze more. Now, what that 7th house actually represents in mundane astrology, we'll see. In natal or personal astrology, it represents the relationships. But here, what it represents, relationships among the countries, the neighbor countries. That is our expectation. But what it really represents, we will see that time when we discuss the 7th house. But in our next video, try to see the third house, people's mood and sentiment. Thank you.